Great pleasure to welcome you to Chicago for the 80th Annual Surgical Update of the International College of Surgeons, United States Section. I now declare the meeting officially open. Before we begin, please rise for our national anthem, which will be performed by Devin Velez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Devin. Still chokes me up every time I hear it. My name is Nick Rebel. I'm the Executive Director of the United States Section, for those of you who don't know me. And I'm now delighted to introduce the U.S. Section's 2018 President. He's a thoracic surgeon who is a professor of surgery at the University of Illinois at Chicago and Chief of Thoracic Surgery at the Jesse Brown VA Medical Center, also here in Chicago, Dr. Francis Podbielski.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chicago. This has been the culmination of at least 1 year, possibly 2 years of planning, and I'm absolutely delighted that all of you have been able to join us. Most especially because this is the International College of Surgeons, it's even more edifying that we've had such wonderful representation from across the globe with friends from Germany, from Egypt, from Japan, from Italy, from Paraguay, joining us, and I probably forgot someone, but it's really wonderful that internationally we're able to come together as a body in a spirit of inclusion with the focus on providing excellent and outstanding surgical care, not only to people who can afford it, but those who can't. I would like at this point to welcome specifically some of our special guests, and those are Professor Adel Ramsey from Egypt, who will be up shortly to offer some remarks. He's a former World Body President. I'd also like to recognize Mike Jacobs, who is a former U.S. Section President, who is currently serving as the North American Federation Secretary for the college. And then finally, I'll have Dr. Craig Clark from the AANOS come up. And we're very fortunate to have them as a partner group for our meeting every year. Between the two groups, we offer a wonderful synergy between the both of us. So at this point, I'd like to ask Dr. Adel Ramsey to come up and to help celebrate our 80th annual meeting. Professor Ramsey, come on up, is a senior professor of surgery at the Cairo University in Egypt, and was the International College of Surgeons World President in 2013 and 2014. It was my privilege to join him and his family at the Egyptian section meeting in Cairo last October. I'd ask Dr. Ramsey to come up now and provide the invocation for our conference.
in the name of the International College, the sacred college for all human beings. O thou source of all light and healing, shine upon all persons who have been inspired to give of themselves in bringing health and well-being to the people of our world. Bless all the physicians who, through surgery, help bring physical wellness and ease the suffering of those afflicted with disease. Strengthen this organization which endeavors to bring knowledge and encouragement to those who provide health care to surgical ministries, and give strength to these persons who take upon themselves the mantle of leadership within the organization. Bless this gathering and send us back to our centers of healing with a renewed will to give ourselves to others in humility and service.
Now I would ask our North American Federation Secretary Mike Jacobs to come to the podium. He served as the President of the United States Section in 2016, and if he would please join us to provide the Physicians' Memorial Prayer.
During the course of the last year, fellows of our college have passed away, many of whom you may know. Let us all please stand in their honor as we contemplate the following memorial words. That bodies should be lent to us so long as they can afford us pleasure, assist us in acquiring knowledge, and doing good to our fellow man is a kind and benevolent act of God. In his time, a physician touches many lives. Those of us whose lives these physicians touched are left greatly saddened, for they are no longer with us. Yet in the scheme of the Almighty, these physicians will be forever honored for their noble role on earth as healer of their fellow man. Please be seated.
Well, formal planning for this meeting has been underway for the last several years. My vision as the U.S. Section President was to develop a program that focused at providing practical information that could be used by surgeons in their daily practice of medicine. The literature itself is rife with meta-analyses, best practices, and clinical pathways, but what has largely disappeared are the clinical observations and pearls of wisdom that are learned through many years of diligent practice and serve as golden teaching moments for our students, residents, junior, and sometimes senior colleagues. These issues in medicine drew my attention toward a meeting theme that focused on sapientia et doctrina, wisdom and knowledge, the wisdom and knowledge of surgery. Not to be confused with rigid guidelines that are, of course, guidelines as we all know, but administrators and other folks not familiar with medicine would prefer that we adhere to. During the course of our conference, we'll offer presentations by specially invited guest speakers, as well as fellow colleagues from the ICS, who will showcase how we as physicians deal with the ever-changing art and science of surgery and medicine. Your scientific program book, our app, provides details for these sessions. I encourage you to review the program carefully as you plan the rest of your week in Chicago, which is known for its fun distractions, so you can also allot time to have a look around our great city with perhaps a visit to our world-renowned Art Institute or one of our spectacular museums. Our staff is happy to provide you assistance for your visit. It's my pleasure now to call upon Craig Clark to come up as the chair of the AANOS.
It's my pleasure to be with you here today. We are in our 42nd year, the AANOS, and would like to welcome old friends, new friends, and all other interested parties. I think we have a very interesting program. We have a very diverse program this year, in particular addressing many of the topics as to Dr. Poboleski has referred to. We're going to talk about pathways, guidelines, best practices, and in addition, later in the course, there will also be a short course on physician leadership that Dr. Epstein has arranged for us. So would like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone to Chicago. It's still a little cold for me. I came from 80-degree weather to 40-degree weather, but I think it's going to be a worthwhile trip. And would encourage everyone to please fill out your evaluations and let us know what you think so that we can be in a continuous process of trying to make this a more valuable experience for all. Thank you.
Dr. Clark, members of the Academy, welcome, and best wishes for an excellent meeting. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, the opening ceremony is hereby concluded and the scientific portion of our conference will begin. It is now my pleasure to introduce the moderators for our opening session, which has been titled Global and Rural Surgery. I'd like you to welcome once again Professor Ramsey from Cairo, Egypt, and his co-moderator, Tracy Sambo, from Edenton, North Carolina, who will guide us through this session.